A few months ago, I was broke, standing in a grocery store with only $20 in my pocket, and no idea what freedom would cost me. I had to make that money last for a whole week. I looked at a small jar of almond butter and laughed. It cost $11. I put it back and walked out with rice, bananas, and a plan. I wasn't lazy. I wasn't lost. I just couldn't keep up, and I refused to pretend anymore. I just couldn't afford life the way most people lived it. That's when I decided to try something different. Over the next few months, I found a way to live on just $110 a month. Not by suffering or giving up everything, but by getting smart, being creative, and questioning what normal really means. This is not your usual budgeting story. No boring spreadsheets. No giving up joy. It's about thinking differently and finding freedom in places most people overlook. Let me show you how I did it. Why I had to change everything. Prices have gone up everywhere. Rent, food, gas, it all costs more than it did a few years ago. Even with a job, I couldn't keep up. I felt like I was working just to survive. I knew I had to change how I lived, or I would always feel stuck. At first, I tried cutting small things like coffee or takeout, but it didn't help much. So, I stopped following the usual advice. Instead, I built a new way of living from scratch. Something cheaper, smarter, and more peaceful. That's how my $110 per month lifestyle began. Out of need, not choice. But to make it work, I had to completely rethink how and where I lived. Where I lived, the housing loophole. The biggest cost for most people is rent. I knew if I could fix that, everything else would be easier. That meant downsizing to save money in a way most people wouldn't even consider. So I found a different solution. I lived in a used delivery van. No, it wasn't dirty or broken. It was parked on a quiet farm just outside the city. The farm owner let me park there for free if I helped out on weekends. I worked about 5 hours a week, planting vegetables and sorting food boxes. In return, I got a safe place to live, access to a bathroom, and even free eggs and fresh vegetables. The van cost me $35 per month to lease from a local co-op. It had a mattress, small shelf, and portable fan. Nothing fancy, but it was clean, quiet, and private. I also saved money on electricity by using solar lights and charging my phone at the public library. This setup worked because I wasn't just looking for cheap rent. I looked for a community deal, something that helped both me and someone else. It wasn't normal, but it worked. And best of all, I was safe, healthy, and not drowning in rent bills. My YNTI budget food plan. Food is another big cost, but I didn't want to eat just instant noodles every day. So I made a simple plan, a kind of no-spend challenge mixed with frugal living hacks that actually made my life easier. I joined a surplus food club in my city. For $20 a month, I got a big box of food every week, things close to the expiration date but still safe to eat. I never knew what I'd get, so I learned to cook with whatever I had. Sometimes I got items I didn't eat, like canned meat or sweets. I traded those with people in a local food swap group. In return, I got more of what I liked: fruits, rice, oats, and veggies. I also used apps like Too Good To Go and Olio, where restaurants and neighbors give away leftover food for cheap or free. This way, I ate well without stress. No strict meal prep, no daily grocery runs. And most weeks, I ate better than I did when I spent $200 a month. My 3-in-1 transport strategy. I didn't own a car. Gas, repairs, and insurance were too expensive. But I still needed to get around. So I used a mix of 3 things: an electric scooter, a folding bike, and public transport. I bought a second-hand electric scooter for $45 on Facebook Marketplace. It was fast, easy to charge, and saved me a lot of time. I charged it at the public library for free while I worked or read. The folding bike was perfect for short trips and didn't need gas or electricity. I used it when I wanted exercise or when the scooter battery was low. And for longer trips, I used buses or trains. I bought a monthly pass for low-income riders, which made it much cheaper. Altogether, I spent about $5 a month on transportation. I stayed mobile, saved money, and never felt stuck. So I had shelter, food, and transport. But what about staying connected in a digital world? It was all part of building a minimalist lifestyle that let me move freely without draining my wallet. $10 digital life hacks. Living on a small budget didn't mean I had to be offline or bored. I found smart ways to stay connected and entertained for almost nothing. This digital setup worked like a charm for a digital nomad on a budget, minus the travel part. For internet, I used free public Wi-Fi. I sat near libraries, cafes, or parks with Wi-Fi signals. I also bought a Wi-Fi extender for $10. It helped me connect from farther away, even from inside my van. For entertainment, I didn't pay for Netflix or Spotify. Instead, I used free apps like Canopy through my library card, Pluto TV, and YouTube. I also used free trials, but I always set reminders to cancel them. For calls and messages, I used WhatsApp and Signal over Wi-Fi. No phone bill needed. And for work, I used free versions of Google Docs, Zoom, and Canva. All these tools help me stay online, learn new things, and feel connected, without spending more than $10 total. Work plus money strategy. Even though I was living on $110 a month, I still made more than that. The secret? I didn't let my income decide my expenses. I was living proof you could achieve financial freedom on a low income by keeping your costs low. I worked online doing small jobs that didn't take a lot of time. I made about $400 to $500 a month, and I saved most of it. I used websites like user testing to test apps and give feedback, Rev to write captions for videos, and Fiverr to offer simple services like proofreading or writing short posts. I also signed up for Respondent.io, where I got paid to answer questions in short interviews. These jobs were flexible. I could work from anywhere and didn't need a fancy resume or special skills. Since my living costs were so low, I was able to put about 75% of my income into a high-interest savings account. I also used this time to learn new skills like graphic design and writing so I could earn more in the future. This was not just about surviving. It was about building a simple life now and a stronger future later. I wasn't working full-time, but I was still moving forward, on my own terms. Living on $110 a month wasn't just about money. It was also about mindset. At first, I felt embarrassed. People thought I was poor or struggling. But I changed how I looked at it. I wasn't failing. I was being smart and free. I started reading about simple living and something called voluntary minimalism, choosing to live with less on purpose. That helped me feel proud of my choices instead of ashamed. In fact, I later learned that this kind of minimalist lifestyle is common in places like Japan and India, where frugality is more of a mindset than a trend. Seeing others spend money made me feel bad, so I took breaks to stay focused. Less comparison gave me more clarity on what really mattered. Spending less gave me more time, more peace, and more control. I wasn't chasing stuff anymore. I was chasing freedom. That shift in thinking made all the difference. Once I saw my lifestyle as a choice, not a struggle, it became easier, even enjoyable. And honestly, I've never felt more in control of my life. The challenges and myths. Living this way wasn't always easy. The hardest part wasn't food or shelter, it was what people thought. Some friends thought I was homeless. Others said I was just plain poor. Neither was true. I had a plan and it was working. But dealing with judgment and questions was tough. Another myth? That you have to suffer to save money. I didn't. I still ate well, slept well, and had fun. I just lived differently. And that's the point. Being frugal doesn't mean being miserable. It means finding smart ways to live well with less. It means escaping lifestyle inflation and choosing what actually brings you peace. I didn't do it to be extreme. I did it because I needed a break from stress, from bills, from trying to keep up. What I learned is this. You don't need a lot of money to feel rich. You just need to spend with purpose and live on your own terms. Now, I earn more and live more comfortably, but I still use most of the same tricks. You don't have to cut out all joy. Just cut out what doesn't matter. This wasn't just a video. It was a real-life financial freedom journey anyone could start living today. Simple living gave me freedom and peace of mind. If this video helped you see things differently, give it a like and subscribe for more real-life ways to make rich money your way.